Picture this scenario, because I guarantee it has happened to you in the last month. It is 5:30 p.m. on a Friday. You have just finished a grueling 45-hour work week. You are physically present in your car or on the train, but your brain is completely fried. You are driving home, and the mere idea of cooking a healthy meal seems about as appealing as climbing Mount Everest without oxygen. So what do? You pull up a delivery app. You order Thai food or pizza or burgers. By the time you add the delivery fee, the service charge, and the tip, that simple meal has cost you $45. You get home, crack open a beer or pour a glass of wine just to take the edge off, and sink into the couch to binge watch a show you don't even like. You tell yourself, I earned this. I worked hard all week. But what if I told you that mathematically, you didn't just spend $45? What if I told you that the pizza, the gas you burned, the clothes you bought for the office, and the stress that forced you to order that food in the first place are all hidden taxes? My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time obsessing over the invisible equations that govern our lives. We are running on hamster wheels that are moving slightly faster than we can run. Today, we aren't talking about investing. We're talking about an accounting fraud, one you are unknowingly committing against yourself every time you accept a job offer based solely on the gross salary. Let's perform a brutal audit. Let's look at James. James earns $65,000 a year. That is roughly $31 an hour. It sounds respectable. It sounds like enough to live a good life. But in the business world, looking at revenue without looking at expenses is how companies go bankrupt. If a bakery sells $1 million worth of bread but spends $1.1 million on flour and rent, that bakery is worth $0. Yet, when it comes to our own labor, we only look at the revenue. We ignore the cost of goods sold. And the good being sold is you, your life, your energy. Before that money hits James's account, the government takes its cut. Between federal, state, and social taxes, that $31 is instantly shaved down to $24. But then come the work expenses. These are costs James pays only for the privilege of working. First, the commute. The average person spends thousands a year on gas, maintenance, and insurance to get to a building where they make money. If he drives 30 minutes each way, that is wear and tear on a vehicle he basically only owns to get to work. Then there is the appearance tax. James can't go to the office in pajamas. He needs suits, dry cleaning, and a professional look. That is an expense. And don't forget the convenience tax. Because James is at the office all day, he buys lunch twice a week. He buys $5 coffees to survive meetings. He pays for a dog walker because he isn't home. These costs wouldn't exist without the job. And the darkest category? Decompression spending. The money spent to numb the pain. The Friday night bar tab, the retail therapy, the expensive vacations to escape the reality of the 9-to-5. When you add it all up, James isn't taking home $65,000. His net real income is closer to $35,000. Now, let's talk about time, because wage is a function of money divided by time. HR says James works 40 hours a week, but that is a lie. James wakes up at 6:30 a.m. to shower, shave, and iron his shirt. That's unpaid labor for the employer. He drives 30 minutes to work, unpaid labor. He takes an hour for lunch, but he can't go home or rest. He's held captive by the office. Then he drives 30 minutes home. When he arrives, he spends an hour decompressing, staring at a wall, venting to his partner, or checking emails. This is shadow work. It is time that belongs to the job, but the job doesn't pay for it. James isn't working 40 hours. He's dedicating 60 hours a week to his employment. Now let's do the real math. Take that whittled down income of $35,000 and divide it by the true hours, nearly 3,000 hours a year. When you punch that into a calculator, that $31 an hour evaporates. Suddenly, James is making $11 an hour. In some stress scenarios, he's mathematically making less than the teenager flipping burgers down the street because that teenager walks to work, wears a uniform provided for them, and leaves their stress at the counter. You have been tricked into a high-turn, low-margin business model where you are the product and you are selling yourself at a loss. So how do we break this equation? The solution is to ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. This becomes the new metric for your success, not your income, but your efficiency. Can you negotiate working from home 2 days a week? If you save 2 hours of commuting and $10 of gas, you just gave yourself a massive raise without the company paying you a dime more. Can you start meal prepping? That lowers your cost of goods sold. Every dollar of work expense you cut is a dollar of pure freedom. But the biggest shift is psychological. You have to start treating your labor like a business. Your life is the business. Your margin is the time and money you have left over to actually be a human being. If you're making $100,000 a year, but spending $95,000 and 80 hours a week to generate it, you are a failing business. You are Enron. The rich are buying time. The poor are selling it at a discount. Don't sell your time at a discount. Audit your life. Cut the vampire costs associated with your job. Write your real wage on a sticky note and put it on your credit card. The next time you go to buy something stupid, ask yourself, am I willing to trade 5 hours of my life for this plastic junk? That friction will save you more money than any budget app ever could. Build the gap between your income and your expenses because that gap is where your freedom lives.